Now there are many ways in which you can harvest or you can get the sap out of a tree. The most simple is just use your knife. Just put the cup down. Is to basically just use your knife and at a slight upward angle just hammer it into the tree underneath the bark. Now I don't know if you can see, but already the sap's dribbling right off that knife. So we're getting quite a lot of sap out of that. And then all you have to do is, using a stick, then sharpening it up slightly, so you basically end up with something like that. This edge will be the bottom edge, and what I do just to make things, to make the sap flow that little bit easier, is putting a slight groove down the length that just gives something for the surface tension of the bump of the droplets of water, sorry, to then stick onto. Then if you just push this into there, you'll then very quickly start to get the sap dribbling straight off the end. So that's coming out quite fast. I done this last night and I put 3 containers out, but I didn't collect quite that much. It was only a little bit. They must have stopped producing, and then all you have to do is then put your cup underneath. Now this isn't the most practical way of doing it, because you have to stand here and hold it. Ideally you'd do it near the bottom. Now I don't really have much access here, but this is just one way. The other way, which I much prefer, is, so yeah, already I've got quite a bit out of that. In like the minute that was there, I've managed to collect a fair amount, so I'll just put that in there with that. I'll also add, using this, if you then just press the bark back together, in a couple of minutes that'll stop flowing, so you won't harm the tree doing this. There is one other method, which I'll go a bit closer to the base to show you this. And that is to use something like this. I think this is an awl I found in the shed. It was my granddad's. It's years old, but I think this works just as well, and it's better than when I've seen people use an electric drill with one of them hole boring pieces on there that takes, you know, a hole maybe that big out of the tree, and then they stick a large pipe in. I think that's a little bit too destructive for my liking, whereas this, it's only it's slightly slightly thinner, sorry, than my knife blade. So it's not leaving too big of a hole and not causing too much damage in the tree. So what I'll do, I'll just try and move a bit of this moss out the way. Okay. So this is basically just like a hand drill. Just drill it straight in, and I prefer to drill it in at a slight angle. So a slight upwards angle. Hello. Do you want some attention? Yeah. So you drill a hole at a slight upwards angle. Hey guys, I've had to change location. My batteries had ran out and I'd ran out of space on this camera to be able to finish off recording the other day. So back out again. So when I left off last time, I was just drilling the hole into the birch tree in order to tap the sap. So once you've drilled your hole, and you can see that the sap is then flowing. So once you can then see that the sap's flowing, you can then remove this out and then place a stick in there to encourage the flow. And all I've done here is got a stick which is quite thick, a bit thicker than the hole. Flatten the top off. Then I've then put a channel down the entire length. And at this end, which is the end we're going into this, that's going to go into the tree, I've sharpened it up slightly so it'll fit into the hole and then be able to be hammered in. And at the other end I've just cut it so that it's more easy for the sap to then come off the end. So then if you then push this into the hole that we've created, and then just hammer it in a bit, that just makes the fit a little bit tighter. The sap should then stop flowing down this bottom. Okay, so once this is then being hammered in, the sap will begin to flow, and then you can then just put your container underneath in order to catch it. So this, that's coming dripping now at an okay rate. It shouldn't take too long in order to collect a decent amount. Probably about 2 hours. This will be probably, hopefully, half full. So I'll come back then, see what I have. Okay, thanks guys. Okay guys, so this is now about getting on 2 hours. I've probably got there a quarter of a cup. I don't know if you can see, but it's still dripping away nicely. But now I have to go back to work, so I don't really have time to wait any longer. So what we do now to soak this up and protect the tree is remove, stick that way originally. What I've got here is another stick, and I've just pointed the end so that it'll then, it won't fit in, it needs to be hammered in. So what we then do is I'll just shape this a bit more so it's a bit more of a snug fit. Okay, there we go, that fits a lot better now. And then what I'm going to do is snap this. And that is all we really need. The drill hole's not very deep, so you don't need to go in too far, but the plug does need to be as long as the drill hole and a very tight fit, otherwise the sap will continue to flow and the tree can become infected or carry on giving off the sap. So then we put the peg in and then just hammer it in. So it won't go any further. And that's as far as it's going. And then cut it off. And make sure that it's in. See, now this is flush with the tree. The sap has now stopped flowing out, so now this tree will then heal over nicely. It won't become infected and it's not going to bleed to death. So again, I'm Chris Dalton from Picking Up Bushcraft. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've learned something from it. And join me again in my next video. Thanks again.